What's going on YouTube? So even though the Acura brand doesn't have a ton of crossovers in its lineup, the two that it does have are extremely successful. This is the smaller of the two offerings, the RDX, which has seen sales surge 15% this year, making it one of the best-selling models in the entire class. But Acura is not setting on its laurels, since this year it is refreshing the RDX with lots of updates people were requesting, including a new A-Spec Advanced model, which is what we're taking a look at today. We're next to Santa Monica Pier today to go ahead and take a look and see if this is the compact luxury SUV you should buy. So let's start things off with the updated exterior design. Now, it's not a huge change, but there are some differences for this 2022 model, basically just made to make it look a little bit more like the brand new MDX model. So up here in the front, you still got that signature diamond pentagon grille, roughly the same shape. You got the gigantic Acura branding, and with the A-Spec models, you do have the black trim around the grille. However, what's the main difference is over here, you used to have kind of a wide section of blacked out trim. That's been reduced to just this small slit out here. It's pushed out on the outside edges, which gives it a wider look than last year. Now, in terms of your headlights, these are pretty much the same this year. It's those signature jewel eye LED headlights. Every single unit in here is LED, including the turn signal and the chicane daytime running light. And then down here at the bottom, the A-Spec and Advanced models will come with the LED fog lamps. Now, of course, no refresh would be complete without some new wheel options, and Acura has refreshed most of the wheel lineup. So your base model is going to come with a 19-inch silver alloy wheel. The Technology and the Advanced models will come with new 19-inch contrast alloy wheels. And then when you get to the A-Spec models, those are going to come with the 20-inch alloy wheels. But this specifically is the A-Spec Advanced. This is a new offering this year, combining both the A-Spec and Advanced packages. That gets you an exclusive wheel. So this is a 20-inch multi-spoke wheel, which looks very similar to what you get on the MDX Type S. So really, really nice looking choice. As we come above here, you've got your A-Spec branding. And then checking out the mirrors here, we do have some new stuff for 2022. The first thing is that blind spot monitoring is now included as standard on every single model versus the Technology and up. It has been enhanced for 2022 to have 4 times greater range. And then you also have power folding built into the Advanced models for the first time.
So here's the side of the RDX. We're coming in at 187 inches in length, which is competitive with that of the segment. And I do want to point out a few of the design touches. Since we do have the A-Spec Advanced trim level, we're going to have the blacked out window surrounds, as well as this piece down here. You can, of course, get it chrome if you would prefer just a more regular look to it. Now, let's walk around to the rear design. You're probably not going to notice a ton of difference for this refreshed RDX. It's going to be very small elements that they've manipulated, but that's really not necessary because this was already a good-looking product. So let's take a look at the taillights here. These are going to be partially LED taillights. They are smoked if you go for the A-Spec. So everything in here is going to be LED, including the reverse light, besides for this incandescent turn signal. I wish Acura would have thrown that in. But if we drop down here, you will notice a few differences in the terms of the diffuser. So if you go for a regular RDX model, the non-A-Specs, you're going to have square exhaust outlets, which gives it a little bit of a different look. And if you go for this model, the A-Spec, you're going to have the large diameter circle exhaust, which give it a really cool look. You are still going to maintain the 1,500 pound tow rating though. Now, when it comes to the safety systems, I've always been a big fan of what Acura does because they throw them in all standard, whereas a lot of the German rivals will make you option on expensive packages to get that. So we're going to have forward emergency braking, lane keeping assist, auto high beams, and adaptive cruise control standard on every single model. And new for 2022, the Tech model and above will throw in low speed forward auto braking as well as low speed rear auto braking. Well guys, I love this A-Spec Advance on the outside, especially in this beautiful blue color, but I know there's a orchid interior waiting for you on the inside. So let's go ahead and check that out, but please also subscribe and follow us on our other social medias before we do that.
So walking Coming up to the updated RDX, you are going to notice the updated Acura key fob. We have the nice metal trim on the side with the Acura branding. We also have remote start on the key fob itself for the advanced models. Apologize for all the traffic noise. We have a very limited amount of time with this vehicle, so I'm just going to go ahead and hop inside here so you can actually hear what I'm saying. But like always, I want to take a second to talk about interior color and material options. So on your base model, that's going to come with a leatherette seat. When you go up to the technology or the advanced, it's going to come with Milano leather seating. And then on the A-Spec model, or this A-Spec advanced model, you're going to get the combination seat. So this is Milano leather, but with the ultra suede inserts in the middle, as you can see through there. We also have the color contrast piping and stitching, which makes these seats look really, really nice. Also, you notice this color. This is a brand new color this year. This is the orchid color, so basically a white and black combination. But you can also still get the ebony or the red and black combination like last year. Taking a look over here at your door trims, you'll see an updated aluminum trim for 2022. We've got the beautiful real metal speaker grills, the ultra suede inserts on the door trim, and then more of that white leather across the armrest. And turning over here to the driver's side, I will show you guys that we have 2-person memory seating, 4 one-touch automatic windows. And then as far as the seats, since this is a top trim model, we're going to have the 16-way power adjusting seats with 4-way lumbar support, as well as a power adjusting side bolsters and a power thigh extension. But taking a look around the cabin as a whole, the design itself is not going to be too different from last year's model. Like I said, this is the A-Spec Advanced model, so basically it's going to combine the design and materials from the A-Spec model with the equipment from the Advanced model. So across the upper dash, you're going to find a soft touch plastic with a nice texture. As we move down, we have an ultra suede insert with a color contrast stitching detail, as well as more of this textured aluminum. You would have the open pore wood if you went for just the regular Advanced model. Of course, you are going to have piano black accents through here, more leather material where your knee would rest against, and more aluminum trim through here. Very nice looking cabin, and of course everything fits together very nicely. Now start it up, put your foot on the brake, and press the standard button. I am noticing we do actually have a different startup tone. Now after we start up the vehicle, you will be greeted with the typical RDX gauge cluster. With the A-Spec model, we have the white background, and you have the 7-inch multifunction display right there in the middle. You can scroll between all the typical kinds of information that you expect to see in here. We also have a really large speed readout, which is new for 2022. Now, in addition to that, if we go up to the top, you're going to find a really large head-up display. This is included on the advanced models, so that also includes the A-Spec Advance as well. And then coming back to the steering wheel, you're going to notice a new feature for 2022. If you choose the A-Spec models, you're going to have a new flat bottom steering wheel. Really love the way this looks. You got, of course, the piano black accent, the A-Spec branding, really nice textured aluminum over here on the side, nice bolster to hold on to. So really good looking steering wheel. In addition to that, the advanced models will come with the heating. And as far as the steering wheel itself, it is going to be manual tilt and telescoping. Well, now we'll go ahead and dive into interior storage, because that, of course, is important to a family crossover such as this. So we'll open up our console here. We have a pretty decent amount of space. It's not gigantic, but it is pretty deep, and there is a rubber lining at the bottom. And yes, we did bring our coupons to Santa Monica. We can stick those in. Looks like they're gonna fit no problem, but we still have a decent amount more space. So if we slide back the aluminum trim, you're gonna find 2 cup holders, another slot right there. Looks like we got a USB port inside. But of course, one of the big design elements of this RDX is the fact that we have the floating console here, which gives you this nice pass-through space. As you can see, we got a 12-volt outlet inside, a new USB Type-C, and this is also new as well. This is a wireless phone charging pad. This is included on your technology model and above, so that's the majority of the trim levels. And next up, taking a look at our shifter. This is the same as last year, so you've got the electronic push button style. Of course, you're going to press the D for drive. We do have paddle shifters on the steering wheel. And then when we head into reverse, this is where you'll be greeted with a standard backup camera on all of the models. However, we do have the 360-degree camera system on this model. That's because we, of course, have the advanced model, and for 2022, that means you can combine A-Spec and Advanced. This is one of the features that people always were complaining about that was missing from the A-Spec model, was the 360 camera. So now you can have that. Definitely a good change. Press the P for park. You do have an electronic parking brake and brake hold on the other side of the steering wheel. And then down below that, you've got your touchpad to control the infotainment system. We'll talk about that in just a second. We also have our button to defeat the auto start stop system. This is our dynamic controller, the IDS, that allows you to change your drive modes. Acura says there's more distinct differences between the drive modes for 2022. And then above that, we have our climate controls. Again, this is the same as last year. It's going to be a standard dual zone automatic setup. You can adjust the temperature just by pressing these buttons right here. You do have physical controls for all of the stuff. We do have automatic 3-stage heated seats as standard equipment. Ventilation is going to come on the A-Spec trim level and above. And then we'll go ahead and take a look next at our audio system. So what you're going to have standard is a 9-speaker sound system. There is a 12-speaker ELS sound system, and then if you go for the A-Spec or the advanced models, that's going to give you the Mac Daddy, the 16-speaker ELS 3D sound system. We'll go ahead and give that a sample right now. Yeah, so overall sound quality of this is spectacular. I've said it before in other Acura products, but really phenomenal sound quality. And of course, I love the real metal speaker grills right there on the door trim. Okay, so let's take a look up here at our infotainment system next. So this is going to be the 10.2-inch display up here at the top. This is not a touch display, so just like with the last few model years, you do have the touch controller I was showing you earlier. That is the only way to control this system. But there are some new features for 2022. You're looking at one of them right now. This is the wireless Android Auto system that I have pulled up right now. You also have wireless Android, or wireless Apple CarPlay, excuse me, in addition to that. So it's certainly a nice thing to see added to the system. Going into the main Acura infotainment system, you got a lot of the same options as before. We do have the new ambient lighting system, which has 27 different colors you can choose from, designed for different themes, like with racetracks around the world. That's new, or something that was added from the MDX model. And if you have the technology or above, that will get you the integrated navigation system. Coming up here to the mirror, we do have the frameless auto-dimming mirror with the HomeLink universal remote. That's a standard feature. And then another really nice standard feature is that we have a panoramic sunroof. A lot of the competition does make you pay extra for this, so it's definitely nice that Acura includes this on every single version.
Alright guys, so I'm in the A-Spec Advanced rear seat, and this is, of course, not going to change much since we do have the refresh model. They're not going to change really the dimensions or anything like that, so we still have 38 inches of both leg and headroom, which just place it right on par with that of its main competition, like the Audi Q5, BMW X3. And as you can see behind rear seating position, I'm definitely not going to have any issues. I have, I'd say, around 6 inches or so of rear legroom. We do have a nice seat back pocket, and my feet can easily slide up underneath the seat. And also, this seat is extremely comfortable and has a really cool design, very similar to what the front offers. Now let's talk about the feature set though. So here in the middle, we are going to have standard vents, as you would expect out of a luxury vehicle. If we drop down below that, we also have 2 charging USB Type-C ports. And then off to the left side of that, we do have 3-stage heated rear seats, which is of course new to the A-Spec since we can get the A-Spec Advanced trim level. So that's a nice touch to have. And then if we drop down the center armrest, we do have 2 cup holders inside. Now walking up to the tailgate, Acura is nice enough to throw in a Power 1 standard on every single RDX model. And for the advanced trim levels now, you do have the hands-free functionality, so that's nice that the A-Spec has that as well. So we can Just wave our foot under the bumper and it does open right up. Now, the space back here is also a very impressive figure for the RDX. It's going to be right in line with that of its competition. So we have around 30 cubic feet of space behind the second row seats. They do fold down 60-40 split, and as a maximum you have 59 cubic feet. Like I mentioned, that's right on par with that of the Audi Q5, BMW X3. So it's going to be very competitive in that regard. As far as our features, we have a 12-volt power outlet here on the left side, little storage cubby, and if we lift up the floor, we have another storage bin. This is actually quite large. I want to mention this. I don't know if this is included in the cargo capacity figure, but you could certainly fit quite a bit of stuff up underneath of here. Then if we lift up the back part, there's even more space. So definitely a lot of underfloor storage. Now the A-Spec Advance isn't going to miss out on any of the advanced features, so we do also have the 16-way power adjusting passenger seat with even the power lumbar and bolster adjustment, so that's a really nice touch. For the passenger, we have this nice Alcantara trim. Then we have this storage area with a USB port. And then if we pop open the glove box, it's going to be a good sized glove box. It's not felt lined, however, like I said, it's very good size. So our coupons slide right in there. So definitely going to be saving money on food. Then if we pop open the sun visor, we have a mirror, some lighting, and we can also detach and extend the sun visor.
So first taking off here with this refreshed Acura RDX. You're going to notice we have the same powertrain setup as last year. This generation, of course, switched to the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. That's still going to be making 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. So it definitely feels plenty spunky when you first set off, plenty of torque. And I just like the way that they kind of tune the response. Like I said, it does feel quick off the line.
Yeah, and this is a segment where it goes head-to-head with the Germans, which also have quick 2-liters, so I'm very happy to see, you know, it has a lot of pep in its step, especially even when you're still moving. The torque kicks in and it gets you moving pretty darn fast.
Now, right now, we're out on a really nice canyon road here. So I want to go ahead and talk about one of our 2022 changes. You still have the drive modes with this big dynamic controller right here in the middle, but one thing that Acura said they did was basically make more difference between the different drive modes. So what we'll go ahead and do is cycle this into the sport mode. This is going to dial things in. The advanced model and the A-Spec Advance, which is what we're in today, we do have the adaptive dampers with that.
Yeah.
So that is going to adjust those adaptive dampers as well as many other elements like the steering, throttle response, stuff like that.
Which that's certainly nice because the A-Spec previously did not have the adaptive dampers, so you couldn't get the sport with the adaptive side where you can have the comfort as well as sport combo. And having the adaptability gives you that extra sport that I mean, I can just tell.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how flat this corners as we kind of go through this canyon road. It really holds nicely, and we'll see this in just a little bit when we get back out on the highway, but coming out to this road, the adaptive dampers do give you a very comfortable ride as well. So it's like Mason said, that's the first time you can get that type of combination with the A-Spec.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
this is fun.
It is. Yeah, so like I said, they make more difference between the drive modes, but this honestly was already one of the vehicles that you could really tell the difference between the drive modes.
Yeah.
Like sport mode really means sport. It'll hang the RPMs up really high, as you can see, to give you that ultimate response. And of course, we do have the super handling all-wheel drive system. So that is, going to be a very sport-oriented setup. So you have a split of power, 70% to the rear, 30% to the front. It also distributes between the rear wheels as well to help you turn in faster. And that is doing that proactively as well. It doesn't just like kick in when you lose grip like some of the competition. That's a kind of a permanent thing to give you that extra performance, and you can tell that.
Yeah, and also while we're in sport mode, I'm noticing that the 10-speed automatic transmission that this model has does definitely behave differently. You can see it's almost doing a little bit of downshift rev matching. It's definitely keeping the RPMs higher, and it is just a very smooth transmission here in the sport mode when you're trying to have fun, and also when we get on the highway.
Yeah, definitely a pretty fun option. Now, that's the end of our canyon road. Now we're we're heading out to what normal people will be using this for. Of course, this is a family crossover, so the vast majority of the time is going to be driving normally on a highway, setting in traffic, stuff like that. So we're going to go back into the normal mode as we head back to our hotel. And talk about some of the more ordinary family-related things. For one, we've already talked a little bit about the 10-speed automatic transmission. It does have that very nice sport dynamic when you're hustling it, but as far as when you're just in the normal mode, does a very nice job of giving you those smooth, nice shifts, blends into the background. This is Honda's in-house developed 10-speed. It's very impressive. You can get or drop several gears at once to give you that power. They've done a good job with this.
Alright, but we finally made it out to the highway, and this is, of course, like Drew said, this is where RDX owners are mostly going to find themselves. And I am very pleasantly surprised at the ride quality of this RDX. We've reviewed quite a few different RDX models, mostly just the regular A-Spec, and now that we have the A-Spec Advance, I'm definitely noticing that difference with the adaptive suspension in terms of the ride quality. We could always tell that the Advance rode a little bit nicer than the rest of the models, and having that paired with the A-Spec really, I think, is just a fantastic thing because it gives you that comfort that you're looking for here on the highway when you're just cruising along. Also gives you that sport dynamic if you want that. So I'm very impressed with the ride quality, and throughout this drive we will get a sound level reading. That's one of the areas where Acura said they have improved quite a bit for this refreshed RDX, is added extra sound deadening to have a 30% quieter cabin. So we'll see if we can test that out when we get up to speed here and see just how much quieter it is.
You can probably go ahead and grab that.
We're looking at 54.9, so that really is a good reading. I don't really remember what we tested the last RDX at. Maybe we can add a box for that, but this is certainly very quiet as far as I can hear just from the seat of my pants. And also this road is not the smoothest road around, so definitely a very quiet cabin, especially for this segment.
Right, and as far as how they've structured the additional sound deadening, they've done things with like enhanced carpets, the sound deadening glass, and that kind of basically escalates as you go through the trim levels. So as you go up the ladder, you're going to get more and more sound deadening.
Now let's go ahead and talk about our fuel economy. That's going to be an important part about this vehicle. So if you go for the front drive model, that's going to be rated at 22, 28, 24 combined for 2022. If you go for the all-wheel drive, SH all-wheel drive model, that's going to drop you down to 23 combined, 21, 26, 23. It does depend a little bit on your trim levels, but the overall combined rating is going to be very similar, which does put it as one of the better options in the segment. I do believe the Audi Q5 with its mild hybrid system does beat it a little bit in terms of the fuel economy, but not by much.
And speaking of that mild hybrid system, so the Audi Q5 has that, the BMW X3 has that. Those are competitors to this, and one of the things I'm noticing is the auto start stop system on this is a little rough compared to that. Having that mild hybrid set up with some of the German competitors does smooth the auto start stop out. It's one of the big benefits of having a mild hybrid setup. So I do notice that there's a little roughness to when the engine restarts on this. Very good on the turning off, but a little roughness when it restarts. But you can turn it off with this button right here.
Alright guys, and guess what time it is? It's airball and slam dunk time. We might be in California, but we're still going to do the Kentucky slam dunk. So for today, our slam dunk is really going to be, I guess you could say, the 2022 improvements, but I think specifically the biggest improvement is the A-Spec Advanced trim level combo. I love it.
If we had $1 for every time someone commented, I want the advanced stuff on the A-Spec, we'd be rich.
Exactly. And I have to say I agree with them.
Yeah.
You know, this is how it should be. I love the A-Spec design, but previously you were missing out on the equipment. I don't want to have to make that sacrifice. I want both things. They have added that this year, and I'm very pleasantly surprised by that. So,
another frequent comment we see, and this is going to be today's airball, was give me a touchscreen. Unfortunately, Acura did not do that this year. It's just another one of those things. I do wish, like a lot of the competition, for instance, Lexus has the touchpad, but they also give you a touchscreen ability now. I feel like they should just move the display a little closer, let me touch it, or use the touchpad, give me the choice.
Let's talk about the pricing. That's a very strong element for the RDX. So prices are going to rise a little bit this year because of the refresh. So we're going to start at $39,300 with front drive for the base model. Tech is going to be $41,950.
Head southeast on California 1 South toward Ocean Front Walk. You on California 1 South for 2 miles.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then you top out at the A-Spec Advanced SH all-wheel drive at $51,300. Now this one, as equipped, we have the optional paint for $500, and then the destination charge of $1,045 brings it to $52,845.
So all in all, we remain very impressed with this RDX. We always were big fans of this generation since it came out, because it really just combines like so many things that people are looking for in a family luxury crossover. You know, you've got the good looks. Arguably, it looks even better this year. You've got increased technology, new option packages, which, like we said, people are really requesting. I mean, I feel like Acura really listened to what people wanted out of this RDX, and they combine that with a price tag that's frankly quite a bit lower than most of the competition. You have a real winner.
Yep.
Well guys, thanks for tuning in to our in-depth review of the refreshed 2022 Acura RDX A-Spec Advanced trim level. If you made it this far, I'm sure that means you enjoyed watching, found it helpful, or just like car content in general. And in any of those 3 scenarios, you should hit that subscribe button down below. It's completely free to you. It's going to give you access to a lot more car content, so please go ahead and do that. Also follow us on our other social medias like TikTok and Instagram. They have a lot of other forum content on there as well, so you won't want to miss out. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.